Metaverses right now, including the Facebook Metaverse and others that we're going to be talking about in a minute, are best known as places to go and game. But as we move in the direction of interacting more and more with people digitally than we have ever done before, which by the way is a trend that has been out there for at least 2 decades at this point, business is going to become a bigger and bigger deal via these fully digital immersive spaces. So if you want to boost from where we are now in the world, that being the ground floor of this thing, today I'm going to tell you what the Metaverse or Metaverses are, what they look like right now, the state of business in these metaverses, and the top ways that people are making money now and will be in the future. My name is Trent Kennelly. I'm a marketing strategist, and on this channel, I talk about all the things that you can do to improve your business through marketing, sales, and analytics. So if that sounds good to you and you're excited, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're into it, comment and let me know where you found success or where you think we're going with this new future. I would love to know your thoughts and your ideas here, and let's get started. Okay, so let's really quickly understand what a metaverse is right now. So the metaverse is currently a large-scale VR project that's designed to take on all parts of daily life and digitize them. But I want to be really clear here. I used metaverse as a singular, but really it's a plural. There are metaverses. There are many of them because there are more than just the Meta Oculus platform. It just happened to be that Facebook/Meta took that idea and kind of made it a little more widespread. They kind of publicized it more than it was already out there. But the term, the idea, it's been used for a long time. And there are currently dozens of companies that are working on creating their own metaverses with their own different ideas involved in them. So what I want to do quickly is just run through an overview of a couple of those different platforms, including Facebook's Metaverse, just to understand kind of what we're working with here a little bit better. So first, let's talk about the Facebook/Meta Metaverse. So this is the one that's obviously getting the biggest buzz right now and is arguably what's finally sending VR worlds into the mainstream. That's getting it more attention than it ever had before. But everything in the metaverse is still pretty decentralized for the moment. There's not a lot going on that allows people to be homogenized, to come together in a singular space. There's no central point where all the action is happening. Now, you can join VR chats, you can go into games to interact with people, but there's no shopping, there's no central world. There's nothing that truly connects everyone and everything in one place that allows you to have a single avatar that takes you from one game or one situation or one experience to another. Next is Decentraland. Decentraland has been around for a long time. It, like a few others, is built on the back of Ethereum as its cryptocurrency, as its kind of blockchain, so that it can add that uniqueness factor that a lot of these other worlds are needing. This is one of the more popular metaverses, and it's currently built for land speculation, interaction, playing games with others, etc. There's a lot that you can do inside Decentraland, and the core idea is that it's owned by the players, so there's not some overarching head, some CEO that can decide your fate. You are one of the owners because you are playing the game. You have a certain amount of clout, a certain amount of Ethereum that you've earned, whatever, okay? Somnium Space is another one. So this is considered one of the most centralized offerings out there today, meaning once again that it's easier to move from place to place and interact with people across the world while just being yourself, the one avatar that you created. And then the final one, this is still in development, but it's very interesting, is the Sandbox. This is being heralded as one of the most metaversy of all the metaverses, meaning that you can basically do anything in their digital space that you can in real life, including, and this is going to be a really big deal, commerce, which is going to be a central part of this property. So it's really worth keeping an eye on to see how this is going to play out. Now, this is not all of them by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, there's things like Wilder World that's out there. There's Zero, I think that's basically the same thing. There's a bunch that are coming out, so everybody's trying to take advantage of this space. These are just some of the big ones that are either up and coming or are already out there and growing and are worth keeping an eye on. So let's talk about the state of business in these metaverses right now. Really, it's gold rush time. People are still trying to figure out what this is and how it works and what the limitations are. So they're doing a lot of different things and they're really stretching the boundaries, which means that there are likely many bubbles in there, meaning that there are lots of things that lots of people are really interested in that suddenly are going to lose value very quickly. That's the bubble bursting, and a lot of these people are going to have lost lots of money in these metaverses. That is very possible. Just to explain what I mean a little bit more deeply, think about 2008. So in 2008 in the US, there was a real estate bubble where all of these people before 2008 were buying properties left and right. They couldn't get enough. There was so much money in real estate. The prices were just going up and through the roof. You could not find a family home for yourself. And what ended up happening is there were so many properties on the market, this is ignoring, of course, all of the shenanigans from the banks, that there were so many properties on the market that nobody could afford to buy anymore. So suddenly the bubble burst and all the prices dropped below what they were worth when they paid for them. So now all these people who own these properties and are trying to get rid of them owe more on these properties than those properties are worth, and they're losing money left and right. Then you get a foreclosure crisis and everything, okay? So that's what a bubble bursting is. It's very highly interested, saturated market that suddenly bursts and nobody owns anything of any value anymore. That's very possible in this situation because you have many metaverses that are fighting against each other. Again, you've got Decentraland, you've got Somnium Sleep, Wilder Worlds, you're gonna have the Sandbox, a bunch of others along with Facebook/Meta Metaverse. So these are all going to be competing for your eyeballs and for your business at the same time. So where you might have a lot of interest, let's say on Decentraland right now, you're going to get a lot of people who are buying a lot of land, and you're going to see that possibly at some point people are going to say, well, there's more going on the Metaverse, so we're going to move over there, and then nobody's on Decentraland anymore. Now the property values are all down to nothing, okay? And so now that's worthless, that bubble has burst. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I've heard great things about Decentraland. I'm just saying that that's a possibility here. The next thing to note is that these are all based on cryptocurrency. So I alluded to this a little bit before with Decentraland having a basis of Ethereum, but they are all based on cryptos in one way or another. And this is really important because it's all about individuality. A lot of these metaverses, what they're trying to do is be individualized from those gigantic corporations. So this is a little bit different from what Meta and the Metaverse are doing because they're trying to bring you under their corporate umbrella. But Decentraland, Somnium Sleep, Wilder Worlds, all these guys are trying to allow you to have personal ownership. And that's what Web 3.0 is all about. It's about you owning something, not you having to be beholden to the corporation that owns the domain or that has the hosting service or is the owner of the website that you're so popular on, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. It's about being on your own, having your own individual ownership. This is why NFTs have become such a huge deal. Now we'll get into exactly what NFTs are and why they've exploded in just a few minutes, but just to understand now, the cryptocurrency allows the individuality, and that's why it's so important. The last thing I want to point out here on the state of business on these metaverses is that not many big brands have really signed up yet. We have a few that have gone into some specific experiences. We have one on Decentraland, but it's really nothing that goes super deep yet. Now, in my personal opinion, many of them are just trying to make sure that this fits with the market before they invest the time to pursue it. That's probably what's going to happen because a lot of these guys usually wait to see that it's actually very massively popular before they adopt it themselves. That's just how big businesses work. But it's going to be interesting to see if they do adopt it because that adds some credence for other people to come in as well. It's kind of one of these situations where to get the critical mass, you need the big businesses to come in, but the big businesses want to see the critical mass before they're going to come in. It's not totally beholden to that, but that is an important factor. Now, let's talk about the top ways people are making money through metaverses right now. And the first thing I want to talk about is NFTs. So before we can really talk about the specifics of NFTs, I think we need to understand what an NFT is, because this is really the main way that people are making money right now. So an NFT, or a non-fungible token, is a digital thing that isn't replicable. So you can think of even buying a t-shirt in the real world. It's something very simple. It's something that is physically yours. That's your t-shirt. Now there may be other t-shirts that look like yours, but that physical shirt is uniquely yours in the physical world. So in the same way, if you buy a digital piece of clothing, that digital piece of clothing is yours and yours alone, and nobody can take that from you and nobody can duplicate it. You can buy something unique. You can buy something that is duplicated for a 10,000 person run. It's the same idea. It is still your t-shirt, okay? Or shoe, or piece of art, whatever it is, okay? So for now, as I said, a large part of the digital economy is based on these NFTs. Those NFTs, of course, can be sold for crypto, most likely, 0.25 Ethereum or 5 Ethereum or whatever that looks like. I mean, 5 Ethereum's a lot. But in any case, you can exchange it for those cryptocurrencies. Those cryptocurrencies can then be exchanged for cash. So now you can have cash in exchange for your digital project being sold. So now that we have a clear understanding of what that is, now let's dive into some of the big things that are being sold mostly as NFTs through this environment. So first, let's talk about digital goods. So this mostly means clothes and items for your avatar right now. And you can create your own unique clothing, unique items to carry, whatever, that can then be sold to others so that they have that unique piece for themselves. But before you scoff at that, because maybe it sounds crazy to you that somebody would be willing to pay a bunch of money for a digital piece of clothing that they can't actually wear in the real world, let's talk about Zepeto. So Zepeto is an Asian market-based metaverse, and it's normally only for mobile right now. You can go download it right now if you want to. But a huge part of the draw of this app, of this metaverse, is the digital clothing that they sell, and that's really how they make a lot of money. In fact, there's an influencer on there named Monica Louise, who's currently making over $100,000 a year just selling digital clothing through Zepeto. So let's not pretend like this is a useless idea. You can absolutely make money on this, and it's absolutely worth it because people are interested in it. But in more Western circles, we're starting to see that brands are selling goods as well, like Ralph Lauren and Gucci, for example, that have both opened stores in Roblox selling digital fashion for that specific platform. So that is coming over here as well. People are looking for those opportunities. But because in the case of Meta, there isn't that central place yet, there's nothing that allows people to use these goods throughout the metaverse. However, just to reverse course one more time, it's also true that in places that do have that more centralized feel, like in Decentraland or in Somnium Space, companies are starting to set their feet down more and more as well. So for instance, you'll see in Decentraland that Sotheby's is running an NFT auction through Decentraland. We'll get into auctions and art galleries in just a minute, but just to point out that this is something that is happening more and more often through metaverses, through these big companies. That's just gonna show that this area is getting bigger and bigger. Next is digital land. So I know that that sounds weird, right? Why are people paying for digital land? Because digital means unlimited. You have unlimited space. There's no limit to what people can put down and where they can put it down. And yes, you are right. But in these spaces, they're limiting the space that can be purchased so that they can encourage people to take ownership and so that they can increase the value of those spaces as well. This is a huge topic in the space right now because there is a land rush on. Everybody is out there trying to buy digital land in all of these big metaverses. So the first thing to understand is that the land itself is the NFT. It's unique to you as the landowner, and you can build whatever you want on it. You can also allow or disallow anyone that you want onto the land. So let's just say, for instance, that you decide to build a theme park. You can allow people onto the theme park land if they pay you to get in. You don't have to allow them in if they don't pay, right? People are already doing huge things with this. So for instance, someone just recently paid $1 million USD to buy a huge plot of land in Decentraland, and they're gonna put a digital mall in there if they haven't already. It's been out for a little bit of time, I haven't checked. But in any case, they spent a lot of money in USD to buy digital land so that they can put a digital mall in that space. Next is digital art. So this is one of the biggest ways that people are making money through metaverses right now, and it's also one of the easiest to implement. Truly, anybody can create NFT art. You can put it in a gallery and you can start making sales right away. So what's happening here is that people are creating things that are unique inside digital spaces that others can own. So you might be asking yourself, what if you're not an artist? Well, that's not really a problem. You can go to Fiverr.com and there are people there that are selling NFT services for just a few $100. It's really easy. You just go there, you pay them, and then you sell it. So the final way people are making money in the metaverse is services. So services in the physical world are important. And we've got architects and consultants and coaches and even lawyers that are helping us to do better as a society. Now this is slower to appear than products are in the metaverse, but it's definitely on its way in, and it's already made a good impact in a few different areas. So for instance, if we just jump back to land really quickly, there are digital architects that will help you to plan your space, and then they're gonna build it for you. That takes a lot of work and stress out of the process for you, and it gets your land up and running a lot faster. All right, so before we wrap up, I want to just take a quick minute to talk about what's coming. These spaces are coming closer every day to a new lived reality. So nearly everything that we need to function in our current world is going to be needed in a digital space as well. But I do want to stress that this should not be thought of as something to replace the physical space, but instead blend with it. The trend is likely going to send us in a direction that allows us to move through physical space and across the globe digitally at the same time. So businesses are going to need to adapt to this. In the short term, I really strongly believe that companies are going to begin selling physical products through metaverses. And honestly, the fact that this hasn't happened yet, or if it has, I haven't found it, is completely mind-blowing for me. There you go, that's how we're doing business via metaverses right now. This is truly early days of this technology, and there's so much more that can be done. I'm really, really excited to see what happens next. So if you like this video, let me know how you've been finding success via the metaverse, the Facebook Metaverse, or any other metaverse, Decentraland or Somnium Space. I think it's more likely that you've been finding success making some money on those instead. And in the meantime, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're into it, and I will catch you in the next one.